Welcome, everybody. This is IBM and Cloudera Better Together. Thanks for taking the time to join us and hearing more about our partnership and how we're helping our customers achieve better outcomes. I'm Rob Stanich. I'm a Principal Product Manager for Strategic Partnerships at IBM, and I'm joined by my good colleague here.
Hi, I'm Dave Fowler, part of Cloudera's Partner Solutions Engineering Group, and working closely across the different IBM relationships we have.
Okay, so IBM and Cloudera Better Together is a program we created that's aimed at infusing Cloudera's expansive data platform with the latest advanced data and AI solutions coming out of IBM. We help our joint enterprise customers get more out of their hybrid cloud and multi-cloud investments. And when we sell together, our customers expect that our products are just going to work in concerts. Our investments in hybrid cloud are something that really distinguishes our firm from other innovators in this space that may be focused on single cloud monocultures. We're not evangelizing one cloud, even IBM's own, or even one database technology. Of course, there's some overlap in what our firms do. We both sell databases, but there's also great synergies. So as you'll see over the course of this presentation, we also have a shared point of view about hybrid cloud and multi-cloud. We serve the largest and most complex customers in the world. Every one of them consumes services from multiple vendors across hybrid and multi-cloud, and they're using every imaginable database technology simultaneously. They need their tech stack to work in concert wherever it's located, and they need common security and governance across the entire data fabric.
Yeah, so let me jump in here and talk a little bit about the history with IBM and Cloudera. So this isn't something brand new or that we just have light touch points. It's something we've been doing for some time. So back in 2017, 2018, IBM had a Hadoop stack, which is, for Hadoop itself is about 4 projects. And then there's kind of a open source set of 40 plus related projects and several hundred other sub projects out of it. But back in 2017, IBM had a Hadoop offering called Big Insights, and they made a strategic decision to start working with Hortonworks as the provider of that Hadoop stack. So that really kicked off the relationship. There were some things going on before that, but that really kicked off a partnership where, joint engineering, joint marketing, joint things that we want to do development-wise. All of those kicked in, and then in 2019, then that was expanded to where we have the relationship with Cloudera. So Cloudera and Hortonworks merged, and we added all of the existing Cloudera products to that relationship with IBM as well. So then we had really a pretty significant set of capabilities that IBM could leverage and use, and along with customers. And then as part of that, we expanded the DB2 port that we wanted to do deep integration with both products. So we had DB2 integrated and supported with HDP and the Hortonworks products, and we added that with the Cloudera products as well. So that became a key technology for both companies that we used across the relationship and helped us as part of some of the joint development and integration efforts. And then as we moved forward into 2020 and beyond, some of the things that happened is, IBM purchased Red Hat, and the OpenShift became a key technology. People wanted to start running things out in containers, not just in traditional clusters. And so for both of our companies, we had a shared vision on that, and we wanted to leverage that shared vision on different ways you could run different components. So we started that with running in the OpenShift components in the OpenShift container, and a joint relationship there, and also did other certifications. So we as we came out with the combined Hortonworks and Cloudera offering called CDP, Cloudera Data Platform, we wanted to run that on IBM systems. So we also ported and ran that on IBM Power, for example, and with the IBM Spectrum Scale storage. So as you can see, there have been over time quite a bit of joint development and joint relationships. And then in 2021, we expanded that, running the Cloud Pack for data with CDP, together in a joint configuration, and have focused on doing things like joint validations, testing, certification, and really looking at that from what can we do from a product perspective on things like security governance to really accelerate that and make it work together in that joint product stack.
I'll talk a little bit about some of the integrations that we've done a little later in the presentation. But IBM is Cloudera's largest partner. Together, we've generated more than $250 million in business. We've signed over 200 customers. And we were Cloudera's Partner of the Year in 2018, 2019, and also in 2022. We were just named one of the Partners of the Year.
So as we look at this a little bit, so to do things like leverage this platform, you really need to have a combined platform to access all the data. So whatever data you've got coming in at any volume, any velocity, be able to do that without moving it where possible, but really have any kind of data and bring that into a combined platform. So these days, streaming, event, log processing, those are all types of solutions that customers really want to do at scale. And when you're doing that now with things like payment card, transactions that are pretty significant and high end and really have large volumes, you've got social media, you've got any kind of IoT solution. So there's really large types of solutions that scale from small all the way up to petabytes or exabyte range. So you really need to have a solution that does that and does that with current modern technologies and really runs anywhere. So customers want to run that both on-prem, they want to run it in cloud, and they want to run that in a hybrid manner where they share the data and share the compute that's being used between those two environments. So that's really what a lot of the focus is on IBM and Cloudera together is this hybrid cloud and being able to scale to any level with any solution with any type of data. That's really what we're providing with the joint solution set.
So I'm sure everyone in this audience would agree that success in the space is increasingly dependent on our ability to understand all of the data that's at our disposal. So why do so many organizations struggle with this? Well, first of all, the amount of data is growing more and more every year. It grew 42% between 2020 and 2022, and that the rate of that growth is only accelerating. 68% of the data we're creating is not being analyzed at all. Almost every organization has data sitting in all sorts of places, different applications, cloud, systems of record, and pulling it all together from these places is hard, right? It's very, very difficult. Most organizations don't think they do a good job of connecting data from multiple sources. In a report that Forrester released last year, they said that 58% of organizations face some kind of data quality problems. That was kind of like the number one challenge. The complexity in data management just gets worse when there isn't holistic governance in place. 39% of organizations report that they do a poor job of managing data as a proper business asset. What makes these limits so difficult to deal with? Well, basically, people want to use data are prevented from seeing the whole picture because they built up this kind of crufty architecture of best of breed point products over the years or even decades. And this leaves them with an architecture that's just difficult to maintain, hard to use, and ends up being 68% of the data never even gets used.
Sure. So if we look at some of the use cases and how this data lifecycle works, so that's one of the visions that I think Cloudera and IBM share, and really one of the advantages that we have on this joint product set is we're really coming at this from a full life cycle, not just an individual point product standpoint. So we look at this as your data is coming in. We look on the left side of this really from a lot of different sources that could be connected products in the IoT space. Just a couple quick examples of real live customers. So predictive maintenance for the trucking industry would be one. We have several of the largest trucking companies in the world actually doing this. Data coming in from a variety of real sources, including the trucks, but also from some of their suppliers, some of their maintenance facilities and other partners that they work with. So you've got both the data coming in from IoT devices, you've got different real-time transactional systems and different data warehouse type systems with the data coming in that need to be combined into a common solution sets and really coming in in different manners that you're connecting it to, but also different rates, different volumes. And then you need to have a life cycle where you're collecting that data, you're processing it, enriching it, and then creating it in a form that you can serve up into applications. And these days with artificial intelligence and machine learning, you need that as well to be part of that. In the trucking example I was talking about, predict when maybe your trucks are gonna fail, or you've got a shipping engine and we've got a customer actually doing that, predicting when some of those maintenance periods need to be, how much gas is being utilized in the ship based on where they filled it up. Those kind of things are all out there and need to be incorporated into that full life cycle. So there's a lot of people doing data science in a standalone fashion, but I think our view is that full life cycle that really you need the abilities and the use of that within that full life cycle, maybe within a dashboard, incorporate that AI, machine learning within dashboards that you're creating as well. And then do that to meet a really wide variety of use cases. So whether you were doing the predictive maintenance that I was talking about, whether you're in the payment card industry, so really across industries, meet whatever that enterprise use case, and really look at that enterprise use case first to see what the business needs are, what the business value is, that you're then going to apply that full life cycle across. And so that's really our vision of how, some of the needs with the life cycle and how we're actually meeting that with this full platform. So if we look at the CDP stack that's part of that, there are a couple different pieces that are involved. There are a couple different ways, since it's a hybrid cloud. On the left, we've got the on-prem private cloud version, and then on the right, we've got the CDP public cloud. Now, our vision is really this is a common set of components, a common set of services that you could deploy on either of those, and then have things like shared data experience, which is a shared set of metadata. So you could have those same table definitions, those same security policies that you're applying, whether you're doing that on-prem, whether you're doing it in one public cloud, or whether you're doing that in many different public clouds. So have a common set of both components, but all that run in all those different environments, but then a shared set of data experience, the metadata definitions, the security policies, the governance layer that you're applying consistently across all those environments and using them together in that common set.
So a bit of a different graphic here. This is how IBM approaches a similar problem. So you're going to see a lot of similarities with what David just talked about and showed. IBM Cloud Packs are enterprise-grade containerized software that we build by combining container images with enterprise capabilities for deployment and production use cases, along with that same full lifecycle management. They feature such as pre-configured deployments based on products, rolling back upgrades, security vulnerability testing, integration with management services for logging, for monitoring, for metering, and they're all running on-premise, hybrid, or across multiple cloud providers. So, thanks to Red Hat OpenShift, you can choose your favorite cloud, IBM, AWS, Google, or Microsoft, and you can run any of IBM's base data services using a common control plane. You can also plug in extended services and premium cartridges that include open source partners like Cloudera, and also other third-party proprietary technologies such as Palantir for IBM Cloud Pack for data, which all rides on the same infrastructure. Believe it or not, we often don't prescribe to our customers that they should be using one database technology versus another. Our customers have generally already made these decisions. They've prototyped their own solutions, run proofs of concepts. And they're really looking for us to help productionize and provide enterprise support. They want to, their solutions to work within established enterprise frameworks for lineage, governance, data security. And so sometimes, we don't care if they're using Postgres or DB2. We sell both of them, we support both of them, and our products are going to go ahead and work with both. So data only really delivers business value when it's contextualized and it's actually available throughout the organization. When implemented correctly, this concept of like a data fabric helps ensures that those that need to get to the data can get to the data. And there's really kind of three benefits that surround that. So one is enabling self-service to data consumption and collaboration. And with that, of course, comes the need to automate governance, protection, and security. We want people to be able to self-serve, but we want to make sure that they're only seeing the data that is permitted to their role in the organization. And we want to be able to automate data engineering tasks and augment data integration across the hybrid cloud. So wherever that data resides, whether it's in a Hadoop data store or it's one of our other partners like MongoDB or EDB Postgres, that needs to be transparent to the user. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on.
Sure,
David, do you want to? Yeah.
Sure.
You want to add something here?
Yep. I'll go ahead and add a little bit on there. So, from our view, we wanted to ensure that Cloudera was, viewed as just a component within Cloud Pak for Data. So you're not looking at it as a external, product that you then have an integration product of your integration product. So really as an integrated product that was already works with Cloud Pak for Data out of the box. So with things like integrated security. So whether you're using TLS and having encryption over the wire, or whether you're using Kerberos and having a token-based authorization for user access, have that integrated in with the combined stack and make sure that that works. Whether you're using things like DB2 or whether you're using Cognos as the BI engine, and have Cloudera, the CDP running right within that Cloud Pak for Data fabric and have it integrated in. Seamlessly integrated in with that platform. So I think that really helps you really leverage that superset of all the different functionality that's there. As Rob mentioned, you might have a few pieces that are overlapped even within Cloudera or even within IBM alone or between the two, but it really kind of supersets the ability of you as a customer to pick what are the best solutions that I need for my particular use cases and build that out, knowing that you have an integrated, secure platform that works together, and you're not going to have to spend all that time integrating your integration software.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so we have a saying at IBM, there's no AI without IA. And by IA, we mean information architecture. The sort of dirty truth here is that practitioners of data science spend most of their time wrangling data rather than thinking up algorithms. And then operationalizing AI into something that is continuously updated and automated is even harder, right, than getting your data game together. So the analogy I like to draw is that before you can do something like build electric cars or reusable rockets at any kind of scale, you first need to build an even more complex machine than the rocket itself, right? A factory capable of building and improving them, a factory that is continually improving and becoming more efficient itself. So IBM's AI ladder strategy puts our client in a position where they have that strong foundation, right? That factory, if you will, to be able to collect and organize their data so that when they come in to infuse it into business level decisions and operations, they can actually drive better outcomes with their data, outcomes that are based on 100% of the data, and it includes that 68% that never get used. Overall, customers who have adopted this strategy have seen about a 30% reduction in the time for integration, 30% reduction in application deployment time, and 70% less data maintenance. So it's really that data fabric that's a material that holds this ladder all together and makes the data usable for everybody in the organization. Okay, so let's take a look at Cloudera Data Platform for IBM Cloud Pack for data. You see Cloud Pack here again, and now with the interfaces to Cloudera's technology in the stack. Our customers are able to take advantage of data wherever it is, Hadoop, Impala, Kafka, metadata, and Hive, as well as that streaming data flowing across things like Flink and NiFi, manipulate, understand, and report on that data with all of IBM's most advanced tools. We can automatically discover and clean data across the data fabric with Data Refinery. We can build machine learning models with Watson Studio based on data that's over in Hadoop and execute them at scale. We can track model bias and drift with IBM's OpenScale technology. We can use Cloudera as part of an open data lakehouse using IBM Big SQL and virtualization through that data fabric. And we can leave that data where it lives today. We can build reports on the data with IBM Cognos, make better business decisions with it, and actually run the business in a more data-driven manner. So it's a powerful story where we really truly are better together, and customers get this huge unlock from their existing data investments. They don't have to migrate the data from where it's sitting today. They don't need to retrain their people or replace their people will have some different skill than the legacy data environment. So of course, there's more we can do to be work even better together, and we're continuing to invest in the partnership. And in the coming months, you'll see more announcements about new integrations and new capabilities, and the ability to share resources between our tech stacks. But really, as you can see from the pictures and the words on the slides, we've done a lot already to make sure that customers are able to use those existing investments and that we actually are better together.
As we look at some of the use cases, I think some of the things Rob mentioned on the previous slide are showing some of the different product sets. So whether you had an existing data lake or whether you were using Spark for as the processing engine underneath some key parts of your data science. So you really want that to scale, have a combined security, and be able to leverage those type of things in a combined solution. So it's pretty key that you have a platform that works together and meets these type of use cases. So as whether you're using data federation from a data lake or just multiple different data sources, and then you want to virtualize that data and use it without necessarily having to move the data where possible, but just leverage it and provide that up in dashboards and other applications. Those are all key type of things that Cloud Pack for Data with CDB are providing. So that ability to leverage, maybe you've got things already out there that you've built, you've spent some time building it, or maybe it's new things, really be able to leverage all of those use cases of things that you've done and things that you want to do with those type of use cases.
Okay, so I think that's going to conclude our presentation for now. But if you'd like to see these two platforms in action together, we want to invite you to attend the demo session, which is going to be a separate 30 minutes hosted by Dinto Cherian and Prasa Yu from our team. That'll be a little bit later in the program. So with that, I want to thank you for listening to us for the last half hour and wish you well and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you.